5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, and welcome back to The Rewind. It's new and improved, right? Y'all see, okay? All right, so if you didn't know, The Rewind is our newest first ever podcast brought to you by the digital team. Yeah, get into it. This is where we discuss various different topics in the Bahamian society, things that are plaguing our nation, and we don't only just talk about it. We want to give you solutions as well, fresh perspectives, takes, and also expose you to faces you've never seen before. So this is our third episode, and that means we have 2 more. So definitely go and check the link in the description where we have our other 2 episodes. Now, I've been talking all this time, and y'all even know my name. So my name is Janae Winter, one of your hosts for today. But I'm going to let the other 2 lovely people here just introduce themselves.
So I'm Jasmine Lundy. I am also a part of the digital team with Janae.
All right, and I'm Chris Saunders. You're going to hear them call me Kanye a lot. I'm a possible, maybe recurring guest if they want me on the show. But not a part of the digital team, but I'll send my resume.
He's a fellow co-worker, and we love him, so that's why we have him on our show today. So our topic today, we're going to be talking about New Year's resolutions a bit, but our main thing we want to talk about budgeting, inflation, and finances. So let's get into it. Now, we're filming this January 16th. It's only a couple days into the new year, but how have you guys' New Year's been so far? How's 2023 been treating you?
Well, for me, we kind of brought in our new year with that Junkanoo broadcast, and that took a lot out of me.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say I started the new year off kind of rough. It was a good broadcast, good show, but I started off rough. But I'm optimistic. I'm not often optimistic. I'm a very pessimistic person, if anybody knows.
Yes.
But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this year.
That's great. Chelsea.
Well, as for me, New Year's Eve, I was in church, so I spent my New Year's praising God.
Same.
Yeah, we love that. So I feel pretty good about this year. I don't have any complaints so far, so yeah, it's been good so far.
Good.
That reminds me, I need to add that to my New Year's resolution.
Going to church?
Yeah.
You should. I feel like it's
church.
nice because I had to work the weekend as well, and I was really nervous. I was like, that was possibly going to be my first crossing over into the new year without being in church, and I didn't like that. So I was like, God, please don't let nothing pop off so I could be in your house. Amen. And he definitely made that happen. Now, before we continue our discussion, let's kind of talk about the year before. What was 2022 like to you guys? Did you have any New Year's resolutions? Any goals? What happened? Give us a tea.
I was fighting for my life. I'm laughing.
I don't know. Should I laugh?
Crying.
Should I laugh?
Literally.
Spain with the S is silent.
Okay, I was fighting for my life. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, it was rough last year. I had some health issues, ended up in PMH.
Oh, wow.
And had surgery. So it was rough.
Is that where she was?
Yeah.
That's where I was.
She was gone for 6 weeks. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Why was she on vacation
I
for
don't
6
know.
weeks? Okay.
But yeah, so it was rough, but this year I'm feeling better. I'm feeling stronger.
Good.
I'm blessed. I have life. I have better health. So praise God for that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's amazing.
We allowed to say God?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
We are
We
gonna
are.
say God.
We allowed.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like the Christian audience. So, for me, thank God I wasn't fighting for my life. I mean, I guess one can argue that we fight for our
We all
lives every
fight.
day, but not in the way Jasmine
Right.
was. I actually had a pretty good New Year, 2022. I had a lot of resolutions that I did not follow up on. I was supposed to go back to school. I started, so
That's a plus. Celebrate your small
so
wins.
technically
Yeah.
I accomplished it. I was supposed to start the gym. I started.
Okay. Love that. That's right.
2022 was a year of a lot of starts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a lot of starts. I started a lot of things. Some of the things I need to stop, but I started it. Question: Does now I wanted to start my new year off going to church, right? Mm-hmm. But I kind of just used church as an excuse to not go somewhere else because I have severe social anxiety. Does that still count?
I mean,
it depends. So
Because I started with the Lord in mind.
Right, but
Right.
when
But-
you got into church, was you
Right,
like
what was the
into
vibe?
it? Like,
Yeah.
did your intention?
No, I didn't
change?
actually go. It was more of an excuse. But I did listen to a gospel song, My Sanctuary, or In the Sanctuary. How does the song go? We lift our hands in the sanctuary.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge you, Kanye.
Okay.
I feel like,
Yeah, I have a little session in my house.
you know, even if the
One song.
intent wasn't the purest or whatever your reason is, just being in church and in the house of God, you know, that could change your perspective. You might end up learning something. Like, obviously, you would have been there for a reason, as everybody would say. So, yeah. But coming into 2020, coming from 2021 into 2022, no, that was rough. That was so bad because I had so much anxiety. It was so bad. I remember I had holiday depression too, and I didn't know what it was. And if you want to know what it is, definitely check out the link in the description because I wrote an article about it. So you'll find out there. But holiday depression really came like in the month of December, and I was just so sad. I didn't want to watch nobody's status celebrating Christmas. I didn't want to see nobody post, and, you know, they all happy and stuff with their family. I didn't want to see any of that. And then coming into the new year, you know, I was like, everybody having their goals, everybody resolutions. What are your goals for life? I'm like, I don't have none. Like, I literally don't have any goals. And I don't know why. Like, it's not that I didn't want to have none. It wasn't that I didn't want to try. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And when I thought about it, it was really overwhelming. It was stressful. So I just did nothing. So coming into 2022 sucked. I hated that. Not like, I don't want to look bad, but like, I didn't like that version of Janae. And so I was very much intentional about my 2022 into 2023. And a lot of things shifted for me. I started planning more. I started, you know, just planning out my life to say, okay, you have these goals, like how you said, you have these things you want to achieve. The only way you could do that is you have to start. Like, you have to move your feet into something. And so that's kind of like what made this different. So what about y'all? Have y'all 2022 into 2023 been a little bit different? Did your mindset change a bit? Let's talk about that.
So, because I was derailed so harshly last year, this year I didn't make any specific resolutions to be like obsessing over, to be like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. I was just like, okay, God, so I thought I was going to be doing something last year. I didn't. I'm just going to trust you this year.
Right.
So it's kind of wherever you lead me, I will go.
I got you.
But I do have things that I want to do, but I'm just not like, this is my resolution, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it took me a while to pick myself back up from 2020, because 2020 was, to me, it was so symbolic. It was the beginning of the new decade, and you know, we all had our plans. And I was like, it was the year I was turning 30, so I was like, okay, going into my 30s, what I can do for my 30s, you know? And then who knew a world-ending pandemic was
I know, right? Just knock everybody
just completely
off.
knock that out. So what ended up happening was I ended up picking up a lot of bad habits during the pandemic. So at the end of 2022, I had a sit down conversation with myself, since I didn't go out partying and I didn't go to church. But I had a conversation with myself, because I had this weird feeling of feeling, I don't want to say unfulfilled, but I guess sort of that I needed to break some habits, and I didn't want the symbolic nature of the new year to come in with me not at least reconciling those. And one of the things I had to tell myself was, Chris, you're lazy and you're a slob.
Oh my God.
I know it sounds very
harsh, but
very self-deprecating, but I had to be real with myself. A lot of the things that I did not accomplish in 2022 was because I was feeling lazy. I was just lazy. I was too lazy to clean up after myself after time. I stopped inviting people to my house because I didn't like how my house looked. I was too lazy to clean it. Yeah, it's a little personal, but I had to have that talk with myself to realize that, okay, until I fix those things, I'm not planning anything else until I get those things in order. So the first thing I did was I got up, and this was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I just started cleaning. I started throwing things away.
That's when you get all that motivation.
Yeah. I started throwing things away. I started telling myself, okay, because you know, like sometimes like you have like a random flat surface in your house that becomes victim to any miscellaneous object and you don't know where to put it. And it's like every time I catch myself wrestling something down, I'm like, stop it, put it back, put it where it's supposed to go.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I sort of having to break myself to form new routines now. But I think that that's a conversation that everybody needs to have with themselves. Like really look within yourself and have that honest conversation. And I ended up, this might sound kind of cheesy, but I ended up writing, I wrote a letter to myself. And
That's cute.
I love that.
it was an email. I sent an email form, so it's gonna send back. It's scheduled to send to me next year. And
Let me go
One
see that
of the-
idea. I don't want to do that.
so one of the things that you know I said, which I think everybody need to realize, is I was like, all right, Chris, nobody knows you like I do.
Right.
You're gonna hear a lot of advice, but only I know you. And I'm writing this letter hoping that I'm not talking to myself in 2024. Meaning, I don't want you to be the same person I am. So I want this to feel like it's a different person writing this. And not in a way that I hate myself, but just in a way that I know that there are some fundamental changes that I know I have to make. And if that's making my bed in the mornings, which I did today. You know, thank God. But you know, it's a little changes. You know.
No, I totally agree with that. And like, I literally just had a conversation with myself with that Saturday. I saw this TikTok and it was funny because I used to watch this person on YouTube like a couple of years ago, and I've never seen them on my platform. I mean, not my platform, on my algorithm. And then they suddenly popped up, and it was like a very inspirational message. And then it just hit, and I clicked off my phone. I just was sitting there, and I knew what they said, soaked in. And then I started having my talk, like looking in. Y'all know how Alvino used to say, like, look in the mirror and talk to yourself, look yourself in the eye.
Oh, y'all got that from her too?
You remember Alvino? You never had Alvino?
I had Alvino.
We did something with her.
that's
She's a
not
media journalism lecturer at the University of the Bahamas, by the way, if you didn't know. But we had to do something where we looked in the eye and you know, gave ourselves encouraging words. And I did that kind of like harsh talk. I didn't name call, but I was like, Janae, you have A, B, C, D things you want to do with your life. There's no way you're going to get there if you don't do anything.
Wow.
You have to do it. Like, you cannot blame anybody. You can't even pray to God and say, God, help me get here. You have to give him something to work with. You got to do something. He want to bless you. He want to help you out. He want to bring the people. But if you ain't even making the first step because you scared, like sister say, the fear of looking stupid is holding you back. Like, that's really what it was for me. Like, you know, being perceived by people, but that's not me anymore. I'm not trying to be that way. But hello, okay. But like, it was that. And then, you know, just fear in general, dealing with anxiety, like not knowing if you're good enough, all these different things. And I'm like, girl, if you want to do A, B, and C, if you want to get here, if you want your life to change and not 22, 21, 2019 be the same thing, you have to make something. You have to do something.
Yeah.
So I literally just had that talk on Saturday with myself, and I was like, I got to exercise. I got to do this. And after that, I was like, I'm going to go sit down on the couch because I'm like, okay, I have my talk. I feel motivated. And someone was like, just exercise. Just do it now. Like, why wait?
Yeah, just
do it. Just get it over with. And then I went ahead and did it. And then yesterday in church, I was like, okay, I have these things I want to do. But I'm like, Lord, you got to help me because I kind of struggle with like discipline and stuff. So I'm like, you got to help me, Lord. And I gave him my to-do list. And every single thing on my to-do list I did. So I went to sleep very accomplished yesterday. I felt really good and productive. And so these are the little steps. You know, we're talking about New Year's resolutions. And I know some people are like, oh, New Year's resolutions, it doesn't last. But these are the little things that you can do to help. Even if you miss, even if you cheat, even if you know, mess up, just start over again.
Right.
Just do it. You know,
there's
no reason.
There's no shame in that.
Right. Just do it over.
You start a diet 17 times, okay, go for 18.
Okay.
Right. That's all it is.
Not necessarily a diet, but you know.
Yeah, but
It's fine,
anything.
it works, but keep trying.
Right.
Right.
Just keep trying. Don't stop. Like, as long as you breathe in, as long as God give you breath, like,
It can
just
happen.
it could happen. Just keep doing it.
So I graduated from UB in May. I went straight to BTVI in the fall. And nobody told me how expensive products are. I took up nail technology and I spent a lot of money. And I'm like,
Every time I go get my nails done, then people be like, these powders expensive.
they are expensive.
Yeah.
So money was kind of an issue for me, but I was still trying to do what I could do. So like, I know how you said you like to do everything one time. that's something that I wanted to do. For example, buy all my nail products one time, but I was like, girl, you even got it. So I had to like buy things like piece by piece by piece. So yeah, that's how I was making it work for myself with what I had.
So products is
like nail files,
like those expensive rotary tools and
all the filing thing, and then the gel
polish,
all
polymer, all of those other stuff.
All those things.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever, we're talking about money, have you guys ever budgeted? Is that something that you guys typically do when it comes to, especially the bigger finances? Do you guys typically budget?
So when it comes to big purchases, for example, like my car, I think I bought that when I was in 2018, so I can't remember how old I was. But I bought my car, so I had to obviously save for that. And I bought my car, all of my money, every single penny I earn, okay? Thank you. Okay?
Okay, don't say it up.
In terms of that, yeah, I had to budget and make sure prioritize, but for the most part in life, if I need something, then I need it. I just need it. Now I'm gonna try to maybe look for a more inexpensive version from a different location.
Right.
But for the most part, if I need it, I'm gonna buy it.
I like that. I don't budget for broke people.
Oh, okay. You can elaborate.
I'm broke. What I budgeting for? I see something.
You know what? In the name of Jesus, that's.
No, I ain't gonna lie. No.
But even like rich people is segment their money and say okay.
Yeah, and well, one, I'll be honest with you, I've never invested my money in anything in my life. I mean, maybe I have. Depends on what you call investment. But I live very humbly. Like
you do budget though.
This is a new shirt.
Yeah, when you're talking about you don't like going to certain places or like you trying to save your money and eating out.
But that's why I'm broke. So like, yeah, I bought a car too, but I bought my car for $600.
What? Well, that's like flat rate. That's it. $600.
Yeah, from a guy on Facebook. I wouldn't advise knowing it. That I went through hell. Trying to get that license. but yeah, what you don't pay for in money, you pay with time. So, yeah, it took me like a year to get the car license.
Wow.
But, I didn't have $15,000 to blow in a car, and I needed to get a car. So, I started with what I had. I don't know how much cars cost now.
Not that much.
Not that much. Not the second hand. Like, they gone up a little bit though, but like.
I'm new cars.
Oh, you have a new?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Like our producer have that brand new, straight from the dealer car.
Oh,
which producer is this?
Ricky.
Oh.
Yeah. I want straight from the dealership. It's nice though.
It is nice.
Yeah. She get paid money.
Stop. So we're definitely gonna be right back after the break, but stay tuned. Stay tuned. So welcome back to the Rewind. Before the break, we were talking about budgeting and giving our little personal, tea on it, but maybe you want to hear from an expert. So we spoke to Tishrea Johnson. She is a she is a security. Hold on. You know what? I'll mess you up, girl. Let me figure out what your thing is. Hold on. She is the security investment advisor from RF Bank and Trust. And so we spoke to her about budgeting, and we wanted an expert to give us some more information on it. So this is actually her breakdown of budgeting and how we should do it. So let's take a look at this clip.
For the working individual, I spoke about it last time I was here. And so you're talking about that 50-20-20-10 rule, because they have income coming in. They should definitely have bills coming in at this point, even if it's something like a mortgage, a car note, whatever. So 50% goes to their loans, any debt. So that's loans, that's utility bills, whatever they have to pay out. 20% is savings or investment. 20% is for them to use as they wish. And then 10% is tithes and charitable donations. And let me say that with children and teenagers, that should apply too. You should teach them to give back, 10%.
So I kind of like how she said the 50, 20, 20, 20. Wait, 50, 20, 20, 10. That's 100, right?
Girl, that would be
I do Yo, I don't do math. So basically, right, I kind of like that because that's kind of like how I do now with budgeting. I never really budget in the house, but now that I have a big girl job, you know, make a little couple dollars, and I'm out of UB full time, I started, okay, well, you know, whatever I make, majority of it, I don't really have that much responsibilities, but what I do have, you know, most of that goes to that, like saving. I want to get a car, so I definitely budget with that. And then the other 50%, which is the 20, 20, and 10, obviously 10% for me because I'm a Christian. It goes to my tithing, and I give back to God because He's given graciously to me, right? And then the other percentage that I have, which would be the 40%, I typically do it like that, where, you know, I do things like going to the grocery store, things like that. And then I save money for like fun stuff. Like, you know, your girl want to go out. You know, there's a lot of new restaurants coming in Nassau. IHOP coming back. Actually, it's not coming back.
For real?
This is the first time it's here. I don't know why it's like coming back.
Hold on, stop.
But IHOP is on its way, and it's not too far from Cable Bahamas. So y'all know we don't
you
be that
serious?
bad. Yes.
What do young people say? No cap?
No cap.
Are you no capping? Are you? How's it go?
That's not what we say.
Are we allowed to be really honest on this show?
I mean, yeah, girl.
You have anything bad to say about IHOP? Keep your opinions.
Okay.
I've never had IHOP, so
I'm
I
not
don't really
excited
know.
for it.
Oh.
No.
Maybe if it was Waffle House or Cracker Barrel, but IHOP, I'm not excited.
Cracker Barrel?
Yes.
I've
That's
had
the word
Cracker Barrel.
cracker in it.
I've had Cracker Barrel.
Their food is off the chain, okay? I don't
From what I
care.
heard, was pretty good. It was
Right,
pretty good.
their food is off the chain. I don't care what words they have. I don't care what words they have. Well, I care, but you know.
I've never had IHOP, so I'm interested to see.
I swear they had like a 2 out of 5.
Bahamians
on it.
love it.
Bahamians do love it.
We eat that up.
We know that prices are rising.
Let's talk about it.
skyrocketing, okay?
Let's talk about it.
Inflation is real.
Oh, so you
Eggs
just gonna...
are up to $12. I went to the grocery store about 2 weeks ago, and I was doing a little bit of grocery shopping, you know. And I went to the egg section, and I saw eggs started from like $7.99. I never needed eggs that bad. I don't even like
Never.
eggs
Exactly.
that much, and
Never.
I did leave
I
that
don't even
right
eat it
where I
that much
saw it.
no more.
Okay, why is eggs $12? That's $1 a egg.
So I'm
That's
glad we're talking about this egg
talk about
situation,
it.
right? Because I like eggs. I don't like eggs enough.
Right,
Enough. That's what it is for me.
right.
Is there really that much of a demand on eggs?
Like, I don't understand why it have to be so high. Like,
I think that's because people use eggs in a lot of other things.
Probably.
that's
no.
true.
Baking
That's
and
true.
cooking and stuff like that.
That's
But what's
very
happening
true.
with, I don't know, the egg industry?
I saw this like funny video, I think on TikTok, and it was like with this hen, right? And she had like a name brand bag, and jewelry on, and she's like, "You can't afford this."
But why does the egg cost
Yeah.
more than the chicken?
For real. No, because chicken nowadays, like the packaged one, still costing like $6, $7, $8. You know, the little
Right.
drumstick and stuff.
Yeah.
But a carton of egg, $12 with that, and then strawberries going up. Like when I went to one store in Kamakura, I won't say which one first, but like the little package of little strawberries, $12. Why everything 12?
Never cared about strawberries.
I love, that's my favorite fruit. But like everything, even the little oh my goodness, I forgot the name of the brand, but it's like a really healthy juice. It's about this size, and you find it in like, you know, various different stores. But like one little carton costs $9, and with that is $10.
Yeah, but no, this egg thing.
Is that
We back to the egg.
Yeah, no. They need to be stopped. Baked poultry
Yeah.
or baked
Dairy
egg or
industry,
whatever they
Yeah.
do.
chicken industry.
They need to be stopped.
Yeah.
Okay? There is
It's
no
really
reason.
ridiculous. And then my thing is like, because I go into a fast food restaurant, and let's just say this week the combo is like $10.99, and then you go to next week and it's $11.99. My question is, how do we even really know they're justified in raising these prices? Like, is anybody checking on that? Like, I understand around the world inflation, things are going up, but are they really going up that much, or y'all just price gouging? And because we don't know, we just gotta take whatever they say.
So I'm not a big financial expert and I know nothing on economics, but take my expert advice. Because I watched a YouTube video on it one time ago. So from what I understand from that one YouTube video that I remember what I watched, what happens is when the cost of these material go up, the manufacturers, they just sort of incur that price onto the consumers. So, because you have a lot of these companies that they technically could afford to take the hit. They could afford to take the loss. It's just not going to be as much profit as they otherwise would have gotten. They're not going to sacrifice their profits so they can drive up the price and make you just pay more or put less material in the package for the same price if they didn't bring up the price.
Right.
But it just sucks though, because then you have like people, you know, you have families over here, low income, you know, everybody trying to shop, everybody's trying to survive. And it's like everything is just increasing, feeling like every week things are going up. And so I really feel for those families, you know, you got 5 children, you know, and you got to figure out. And it's like you don't always just want to give children spaghetti and noodles or stuff like that just because it's cheap, you know. And that's one of the things, you know, the financial expert has said, Miss Johnson. You know, she mentioned how she liked these little Halo oranges. Some of you guys know
They are delicious.
I never had them, but I saw them on TV. But they cost like $9 a bag, she said.
Yeah.
And so there are times when she'd want that, but because it's not as, you know, cost effective at times, she would go for the regular big oranges, which are cheaper. So she's still getting healthy options. And so in that case, I think like you talked about before, comparing prices and everything is fine. But there are a lot of times like these healthy stuff, like lettuce, $15. Like, I want a salad. Yes. Right. I want a salad, but like, I look at the lettuce and I'm like, I can't get you.
It don't even make
sense. Afford you.
It don't make sense.
So
it's like, because are you going to do, am I going to be so much healthier after I eat this one lettuce? I think it's worth it. I'm not going to be that much healthier.
That probably ain't going to be fresh in your fridge for too long.
So fast.
But I know in my experience, usually meat is the most expensive thing on my.
It used to
in my shopping cart, and I think what people are going to do, and this is why budgeting is even more necessary now than probably ever. Remember when, I don't know if you guys remember, you may not have been born yet, but like Spam was a big thing one time ago.
It's still a big thing in Korea.
It is?
Yeah,
but after a while, Spam got so expensive that I didn't even know they still was making it. Like, people just stopped buying it. I grew up, I had this weird story where I love cream of wheat, right? And I always grew up eating cream of wheat. And when I got it as an adult, I was like, why does it feel so weird? Like, it feels so much different and thinner than I remember. So my aunt was like, oh, I just been making you sweet grits your whole life.
What?
I was like, when did you stop buying cream of wheat? She was like, when it got too expensive. So she got the grits and just put cream and sugar. So my whole life, I think I love cream of wheat. So I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to start substituting more.
Right. I think that's already happening.
You're going to have to. You're going to have to.
I even do that. Like when I go to the grocery store, I try my hardest not to buy anything above $7. And that's and I only shop for like food because I still live with my mom, so I don't have to buy toiletries and all that every single week or whatever. And my bill still has to be $60. So I can imagine when I move out now and I gotta add all them stuff, I probably looking like $150 a week or something like that.
Well, speaking of toiletries,
give us a tea.
Okay, can we talk about pink tax?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it because it's ridiculous.
What is that again?
Pink tax. Let me Google it. Because Google is
we
always
gotta
right.
educate demands them.
Yeah.
Because Janae would be paying a lot of taxes.
Yeah, see the vibe.
Anyway, so Wi-Fi moving slow. Pink tax is basically when female products that are marketed towards women are more expensive because it's a female product or it's pink, right?
So her clothes more expensive than yours?
You know, you thought
but like honestly,
I'll give you that.
so for example, a female razor that would be pink would cost more than a male razor that would be blue, just because it's marketed towards a female. And we have feminine products that are skyrocketing.
It's crazy.
And I don't understand because why?
Why is good?
I remember when, for example, not to get too girly and in depth, but like feminine napkins, like sanitary napkins, were like what, $7, $5?
Yeah, I remember.
And now they're $12 plus
it's
dollars
insane.
for one pack.
It's insane.
And
It's a feminine
females,
napkin. Like Kleenex?
No.
Pads,
We'll tell you later.
tampons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
is that like
things that
the...
women use on their menstrual
That,
cycle.
right, that are mandatory,
Why
that
did you
they
say
have to
pads?
use.
Well,
I don't, that's not the, you know.
We can say it.
We can say it. Okay, moving on.
So they're now like $12 a pack, and on average, a woman probably uses 2 packs, for
Yep.
example. So you're spending over $24, $25 for something that is mandatory.
Mandatory.
And as a working woman, you know, when I go in the store, I'm like, do I even really need this?
We can't even substitute that.
Right. But imagine like the females and the young
young
adults,
girls,
the young
yeah.
girls in school who can't afford it. I feel as though, I don't know if the government is doing anything specifically towards paying tax, but something needs to be done because the prices are ridiculous at this point.
You know, to be honest with you, you might think I can't relate to that. But
Talk to me.
but I probably can.
Okay,
right?
let's hear it.
So I have a cousin from Freeport that started school here. I'm gonna name drop her actually. Anika Adderley goes to UB. So I went with her grocery shopping because I'm like, yeah, I'm the big cousin. Just get what you want, get what you need.
Oh, ball it.
Okay.
I'll cover the bill.
Got
You know?
money.
You know, we'll stock your house out. I swear it was like $60-something just for her feminine hygiene products, and it was like,
Yup.
bro, you better use one hotel tissue. Why a piece of cotton gotta cost us?
That's the point we're trying to make, right?
Yeah, no. So
It's insane.
I get it.
I think that's what it is. Like, not to cut you off, but it's because they know we need it. That's the reason.
If that's the reason why.
I feel like that's the reason why they know we can't. So let's hike it up. We can take it to 15 and all. They know.
So pro
we need
budgeting
it.
tip: don't be a woman. Don't be a woman. Don't be a woman.
Oh. Yeah.
But moving on, what about investing? Is that something that y'all do now? Is that something y'all are looking forward to doing? Y'all are trying to do?
That was a part of my 2020 New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Thanks, COVID.
So what were your
plans?
What were your plans about it?
Okay, so I don't know anything about investing.
Same.
But I did talk to some people. I even spoke with a lawyer, who gave me some advice, because one of the things that I wanted to invest in was myself, and myself meaning like how Janae said that she in earlier off camera that she wanted to. Did you say off camera?
I think I said it on camera. You mean investing, like
Investing
content and all.
investing in your
Yeah,
craft.
I said that. Yeah, I said that.
So that was one of the things that I started doing, because I would not buy equipment, I would not buy certain gear, or I may not take certain courses because in my mind I'm throwing away money that I don't need to spend right now. I wasn't looking at it as an investment into myself.
Yeah.
So when you're not business savvy or financially savvy, you don't trade stocks or whatever, those that financial jargon I don't understand. I just try to invest in myself, really. So
I hear you. Did
But- Go ahead.
was anything said about investing?
So we did speak to Tishrea Johnson. Am I saying your name right? I think so. She did give like some tips on investing. We could take a look at that clip right now.
The World Wide Web has opened the world up, okay? So I'll give you a perfect example of myself. During COVID, when we were in lockdown, I spent an insane amount of money on gaming, okay? Like I was playing games because I was like, I need to do something, right? But as I did that, I was like, I can make money from gaming too. Like I don't only have to spend money. So I did my research. I found a company that makes games, and I made a game. Right. Okay. So you don't have to be limited to I'm in the Bahamas.
So something Ms. Johnson said was, using online options, and not something Jasmine had asked earlier, like, what do we, like, want to invest and stuff. That's also something I wanted to do to make a little more money come in. the world is international. We don't only have to look in the Bahamas,
Right.
But there's also various other ways persons are investing, and I think it's really cute. One of them is like a vending machine. I don't know if you guys ever heard about it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen where persons take they create a vending machine, and instead of putting snacks, they put beauty products like skincare, makeup, things for your hair, and all of that. I think they put it like in an airport, which is a good location because when the girlies forget their makeup at home, they can easily just go and put their money in and buy it. So I think like ideas like that is cute. Have you guys ever heard anything else?
Yeah, so I actually saw a TikTok video because TikTok have everything. It was about this guy who I guess he has this vending machine business, but what he was saying about it is you can't just go there, buy a vending machine and expect to make money. You have to know what size vending machine you need, what kind of products you're going to have in it, like fruits, vegetables. Oh shoot! like chips and soda, or if you want to have makeup and stuff like Kylie Jenner does.
Right.
The type of environment you're going to have this vending machine in, like if you're going to have it like in an apartment where several people, within that apartment.
You gotta know where to put it.
Right. So he was like, the first thing you need to know is your audience.
Right.
You need to know where this thing is going to go and have an approximation of how much it's going to cost and all of those things before you jump straight into, oh yeah, this is a money making thing. Let me go and buy a vending machine. You have to do your background research, or else it's not going to make money for you. It's going to do the complete opposite.
So you still have to work.
You still have to, and that's my point. Like you can't just expect like, okay, I can set up shop and then expect it to make. You have to invest into your investment,
right,
in order to see some bit of passive income coming in, some bit of return. And so I feel like for young people out there, definitely that's something to remember. Like Jasmine said, you have to research. You have to know the field you're going into, so it will take a little bit amount of time, but I know there are other ways. Like for some people who just don't want to like do all that, because there are some people who's like, girl, I don't want to
wake up.
Because for me, like the vending machine idea was so cool, and it is a good thing because it's working for people, but you don't want to just wait forever to see something,
right?
So that's why I said the online option is a good way. I know some people are doing like journals. Like I don't know if y'all ever heard about that. Like they're creating journals on Canva, and Canva is really easy. Canva is free. And then they're uploading it to Amazon and selling the journal.
I think I kind of sort of know what you mean.
Yeah.
It wasn't journals, but I saw this thing online where people sell photos to Canva. Oh. And I was like, ooh, this sounds like something that I can do. And when I looked on Canva, they was like, oh, we're not accepting this anymore. So I was like, a lot of people probably found out about it. So that's something that also is so small, but I don't know. I don't know how much money you can make from it. Like I don't know if it's based on who downloaded or how many people downloaded, but it's a way to make income.
So do you think oftentimes passive income, people tend to have their expectations too high as to how much they're gonna get, how much returns they're gonna get from it, how quickly they're gonna get it, and also because this is a question that I've had for all of my 20s and into my early 30s, which I'm still in, is how much money or disposable income does one need before they can think about investing in the first place? Because if I live in paycheck to paycheck,
right?
How do I invest?
And that was my thing too, because it's like everybody don't have a big income to work with,
right?
So like, where do they begin? And I know that's something the financial advisor had said. She was like, oh, well, some people think you have to have like a bunch of money in order to start investing. She actually went opposite with that. She was like, you only need a little something, even if you just start with like $100, which is still a lot to some people, but that sounds a little bit more manageable than thinking like you need 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever.
Right.
So she was saying you could start with just 100, and RF has like this plan, and you can invest with that and just keep investing over, and by about 5 years you should see like a return or something like that. But I do think that there is a high expectation that when you start, like you're gonna make a lot of money, and then people don't realize how much of their income they make now they have to put into that. So that's a good point.
And I think it's a mentality issue too. Just like most things in life, there's a risk reward factor as well. Investing in itself it requires you to take a risk. Investing your money is riskier than saving your money, and usually the higher the risk, the higher the reward. and sometimes the higher the loss.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if you guys ever heard of Silicon Valley, which is like basically like the tech hub of the world. But the reason Silicon Valley is because they are from a young age, like they have a culture of risk takers, and that's why it's such an entrepreneurial culture. So I think one of the things that when it comes to investments is that you have to be willing to take risks. If you're a gambler, you're not going to get any high rewards if you're always making safe bets. Only the high rollers get high rewards. It's the same in life. You have to be able to take risks. And I think the more we foster the idea of risk taking instead of, because I don't know if this is just our culture or this may be just my perspective, but growing up, they kind of sequester that risk-taking spirit. You know what I mean? It's like
be safe.
You have to be safe.
I agree.
A lot of the financial advice that I've heard my entire life was almost always about saving money, but not necessarily how to earn more money. Because earning more money requires more risk.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's always saving or investing, but not how do you make more.
That's true. And it requires risk. You have to be willing to break that mental barrier to take a risk.
But let's risk responsibly. You don't want to risk and then your wife and your children.
But you do it responsibly. You don't do it stupidly.
Right.
And risking does not mean taking all your money and gambling it away, hoping for a high payout. No.
Yeah, no.
Like you say, you risk responsibly.
I love that. Let's put that on a shirt. Risk responsibly.
Yeah, take a risk. If you want bigger and better opportunities, that may require you to risk leaving your job to go find something else. Everything is a risk, but you will never get that if you're not willing to sacrifice that.
Okay.
So something has to give.
Well, I love this conversation that we've had thus far. It's definitely been good. Hope you guys have been enjoying so far. But we have to wrap things up a little bit. So based on everything that was said and, based on what you want to do in your life and everything in 2023, what are some of the changes you guys think that you're going to make this year? What's going to make this year different?
I'm going to focus more on my health. For sure.
That's not a lot.
Because I keep thinking about I say that every year, and I have a good start. But every year is a fresh start, so I'm going to focus more.
Like we said earlier, just keep doing it over again.
Like I said, I'm not making any plans until my physical fitness and my health and my personal habits, keeping my house clean, making my bed, and stop being lazy. Like I tackle in the fundamentals.
Okay.
I'm not making any big goals until I get that straight.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to be, monitoring my health as well. And I even noticed, for example, my body doesn't even agree with a lot of fast foods and stuff. So, cut it out. Also, I think I want to be a little bit more intentional because last year was like, whoa. And so it's like, let's try, even though last year was so crazy and unexpected, I think I was a bit afraid to make plans.
Right.
But I think moving forward, I can make tiny little plans and make those incremental steps moving forward.
Well, honestly, that's the same with me, both of you guys. Definitely focusing on health, but looking at it from a point of like an overall thing, like health and wellness. So I'm tying in, my mind, getting out in the sun more, not just pumping iron in the gym, you know what I mean? But like getting out more, immersing myself in nature. It sounds hippie, but like that's what I want to do, like soaking in the sun.
I think that's the right approach.
Like right.
Yeah, giving yourself achievable goals.
Yeah, that's what it is for me, and not just having like a terrible relationship with like, the gym or with food. And then as it comes to like being intentional, like you said, for me, like I mentioned earlier, something that I notice, I get overwhelmed pretty easily. So if I have a goal and I don't like break it down and I don't say, well, this is how I'm going to achieve it, these are my steps, I freak out. So my thing is to be intentional and have the little small steps like I talked about earlier, and celebrating whenever I do good.
Yes,
we have to celebrate
because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Who is going to do it?
And that reminds us that it's getting done. Okay. No matter how long it took, no matter what you had to give, it got done, and we should be proud of ourselves.
Right. Let's give ourselves
and high clap for the audience.
You guys can do it. So that has been our show.
It's been fun.
It was great talking to you guys. I love this discussion. Definitely hope that you, the viewers, enjoyed this. Definitely leave a comment down below. If, like, what was your favorite part? What was something that you took away from it? You know, let us know. Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Our News YouTube page and check out our other videos. So this has been The Rewind with myself, Chanae.
Chris.
And Jasmine.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Outro music.
I don't know what else.